What's going on, Bradley? Just gonna wait for a few people to get here. I'm a little early. All right, there's 4 people in here now, and I don't know. So I was just going to do this live stream because there were a couple of, issues that people had with the last My 2 Cents video, and what I really, really wanted to do is clear it up in this particular live stream. And, it took forever to get the live stream going. I think I did like 5 tests. I'm actually in my living room right now and on my laptop that's older than my daughter. And so hopefully it doesn't crap out on me, but make sure that everything's working okay. And I don't know, make sure you can hear me okay. What's up, Dave? So let's just talk. And I'll just start talking about the last video. So I have some notes. So the last My 2 Cents video I did was about the conjoining or the partnership that FLW and KBF is doing. And when I first read it, I wasn't upset. I'm not upset by it, first and foremost. I think, my intention of that video, maybe it wasn't conveyed well enough, was that there's this overall push, and I don't know where it comes from, to make kayak fishing specifically a pro level event. So, what happens when you get to a pro level event? It's higher payouts, it's higher buy-ins. And for me, I just don't understand where this urge comes from. And that's why I said a couple of times in that past video that, no one's ever going to make a living off of kayak bass fishing. This is something that's going to be impossible to do. There were a couple of comments in that video that basically said, there's not enough television viewership to watch that stuff. And so I kind of made a jab at FLW as well. And the reason why I made a jab at FLW, I kind of said they were going this way, and Bassmaster Elites were going this way, and MLF was going this way. It's because specifically in one of the videos when they announced the partnership, the FLW representative basically said, or Chad said, this is the highest media coverage platform for bass fishing. And I just found that appalling and not true. FLW, in my opinion, has been going downhill for years. And the reason why is that, let's just start off with their largest cup, which is once known as the Forrest Wood Cup. Used to be able to pay out of $500,000. Now it's down to $300,000. You win the Bassmaster Classic, which is happening this weekend. That's a payout of $300,000. In MLF, each particular tour event, I think the total payout is $700,000. And with the grand, whenever the tour ends, is $1.2 million. Now that's a total payout. But the reason why, in my opinion, MLF is winning and is the most media covered one is one. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but I think it was 2 years ago, MLF they lowered their format down to an hour, and basically they were on CBS or ABC or one of the primetime networks on Saturday. MLF has 80 anglers in it, and the really compelling thing about that particular tour is that all 80 tour members have a seat at the table. It's a collective kind of thing. So anyway, that was kind of my comment about the FLW. And then just, another comment I made is that the partnership is really helping. KBF is helping FLW more than the other way around. That's just how I personally feel. This is an opinion. So I just kind of want to clarify, because some people really kind of got worked up with it, and I just was kind of thought it was silly. I wasn't attacking anybody. The purpose of these my 2 cents kind of videos that I do is just to kind of get a rise out of people, but it's never to insult or insults or any of that stuff. It's really just to start a conversation. It's just stuff that I find 9 times out of 10 I'm talking about with people over text or over the phone, and it's common themes that are talked over and over again, but never in a public format. And I never ever had a problem vocalizing stuff on a public platform. And I just like I said, I'd never do it, I don't think, maliciously or anything of that nature. So there's like 18 people watching now. Vinny's here. David's are here. Out west with Chris is here. Let's just have a chat. Does anybody want me to like justify anything? Or did I not just make that kind of rant clear right now? Because, you know, like it's not coming after anybody. It's just kind of my opinion on what I'm seeing that's going on with our particular sport. And now, so yeah, so max limit, every business is going to grow in the best interest. It's plain and simple. I don't think it's in the best interest. And that was the point. I don't think that there should be a push to grow what essentially is I wouldn't even call it a sport. Kayak bass fishing should be something that's pleasurable, and that's something that you go out and you have a good time. And if there was a realistic opportunity for people to make a living off of doing kayak bass fishing full time, then yeah, I'd say go for it. Now I could be eating my words in 10 years, because I remember being a kid and watching, Tony Guerrero and Tony Hawk and, Mike McGill and all the Bones Brigades. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I used to be a skater, and we used to be like, oh, I want to be a professional skater. And, our parents would say, that's ridiculous. And lo and behold, these guys are millionaires and they've made quite a decent living off of it. But, where it is right now with kayak bass fishing, I'm definitely thinking that there's no opportunity to make it a professional sport. So there doesn't need to be a push for it. So that being said, I agree with David Larson. I should not have to clarify anything, but there were some pretty nasty emails sent to me, not comments. I got one email that was anonymous. I'm not going to read these out loud. The people that sent me the nasty emails, they know who they are. Look, I don't appreciate it, but in the same token, I appreciate the fact that you're going to voice your opinion. But if you're not willing to do it in a public format, then you're kind of like, just, I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. So Sheldon says, if you partner with you. Yeah, look, so the payouts are good. Payouts are good. Yeah, Sheldon, that is a good idea. Yeah, so Bradley, and this is my point. So when you're doing a buy-in of, let's just say the $200 for the tour events, that's not really the issue. And the open isn't really clarified. Most opens have a limit of people that kind of can participate in them. I used to ski in a lot of opens when I was younger, and there was always a cap of the number of people that could do that stuff. So you have, let's just say it's 100 anglers that do the open. Now I forget the names of the lakes. Those top 20 don't pay for the next event, but the bottom 80% do pay 500. And it's not just necessarily the buy-in of it, but it's the actual like trying to get there. And that's why I brought up the JT Kenny thing on the FLW circuit breakers. It's basically, it's not just the entry fees and the buy-ins to these tournaments. It's the actual process of getting there. Now, if you're, I had a discussion with one of my buddies over the phone about this, because he was talking about somebody else about it, one of his buddies, and we were just talking about the only people that are going to be able to fish these things are guys that are retired, people who are independently wealthy, or people who are not married, don't have kids, that can do these things. You know, there's a lot of FLW anglers and Bassmaster Elite guys and MLF guys that have families, but they've been doing this for years, and the payout in the platform already existed. I'm spitting my dip out. So who's got questions? Yeah, boat would be nice for the kids. So what else? I think I kind of said my piece on that. You know, one of the last things too, I think that I just want to mention is that I'm hesitant for something that I really like and enjoy, going to a pro level, because I think I said before in the My 2 Cents video, it creates a delineation of the people who want it to happen and the people who don't want it to happen. And, you know, I just don't think that Kayak Bass Fishing is ready to go to a pro level. I think that even KBF had a pro level membership that kind of didn't work out. And they were just basically, I think they got rid of it. Pulling lips, you know, I'm not really sure why it struck a nerve either. You know, I just think that there were certain individuals that felt like they were being attacked. And this really is the point of this, was that it's an open discussion here. And I'll try my best to keep up with the chat. But like, I wasn't going after, but I don't think I said anything negative about anybody in particular. Or any organization. I just really think that, you know, we're not ready for it. I think it's a bunch of fluff. I don't think that we're ready for it. I'd rather just not have it taken to this level, because there's so many guys that I know and guys that I talk to that have gotten out of doing tournaments simply for the fact, not because of the price, but because like there's the environment has changed. And we go to these events, or well, I used to go to these events because it was a good time and it was camaraderie. And for a long time, the local club around here, and I know a lot of other local clubs, used to do fishing shows. I can't remember the last time anybody, myself included, went to a fishing show. I mean, we try to hang out as many people as possible when we go fishing, but like, it's just fun to do that stuff and take it back more down to a grassroots level. Now, I guess the reason why, I'm going to kind of clarify something too. One of the things that, so I belong to a bass boat club too as well. I belong to a team that's about 50 minutes away, and it's bass boats. In fact, not this weekend, but next weekend I have a tournament that I'll be fishing, and I'm a backseater because obviously I don't own a boat. Now, I belong to that organization for 4 years now, and to fish an event, it's $45 per angler plus $5 for big fish. But there's also basically a $45 a year membership fee. And along with that membership fee, and I'm not going to rattle them off because I just think that would be the wrong thing to do, but we get a ton of discounts on certain brands, high-end brands. There's monthly meetings. It's run like a real club. And I think that like KBF doesn't even really do a good job of running it like a club. I think that there should be like, you know, there should be like a monthly, almost kind of like captain's meeting that occurs online. Obviously, KBF is such a large organization that you can't do it with everybody in one location, but like go live once a month, do a forum once a month where people kind of can sit down and talk about what's going on. You can fill people in on the information, what's going on with the organization. That doesn't occur. And I think a lot of people that have left KBF or that gripe about KBF a lot, it's because they're not in the know. There's a lack of transparency there. Do I think a lot of people had a suspicion that there was going to be this partnership with FLW and KBF or some other large organization? Yeah, I do believe that. But like, I think 95% of us were caught off guard. And like, this is coming from somebody who dropped his membership, or rather didn't renew his membership, because I just really didn't like the amount of rules that was going on and what was happening. So coffee and kayaks would be super cool. You know, just getting a barbecue together. So many guys out here are sponsored by good sponsors. Even just having one of the sponsors do like a derby event kind of style thing. And then, you know, there was a guarantee of food, and there could be side bets on the side of everything. And not try to make it so formal. And I think, that's not something that I enjoy. I don't enjoy formality. I mean, I have a full-time job. I'm a father, and I've got a lot of formality in my life. The last thing I want to do is go out and catch a fish and wonder if I'm going to get deducted a point for covering the gill plate a little bit too much, or not having my identifier, not having my board marked enough. I don't enjoy it. And just so everybody is clear, I love competition a lot. I was competitive in college. I played college soccer. I was pretty close to being a nationally ranked skier. It never happened though, unfortunately. But I'm a competitive kind of guy. I'll be candid with you. I don't think that that fishing is a competitive sport. I think that there's that fishing is 50% knowledge and understanding patterns and weather and conditions. The other 50% is reliant on an animal. It's like, there's no hunting competitions, or there's no hunting leagues, or maybe there are. Somebody correct me if there is. It's just something that I think fishing, it's not a competitive sport. It is a sport, in my opinion, but it's just not a competitive sport. It's not something to get amped up over. If I had the time to create a club, pulling lips, I probably would not, because I would end up being bitched at all the time. And it's just a lot of stress. I think that, if you choose to get involved with something and you choose to kind of create something, you better have a thick skin. And I think that certain people at KBF do not have a thick skin. I think that they have very, very overly sensitive about things. And I think that that's fine and dandy when you're running a local organization or national organization. But when you have a very thin skin and you wear your emotions on the sleeve and you're supposed to be the leader of an organization, you need to buckle down, and you need to keep your lip tight, and you kind of just need to take it on the chin. And you got to take it on the chin for a very, very long time. And I speak from experience because I have started businesses, and it's a humbling experience. It can be crippling sometimes, but you have to know how to handle stress and pressure. It's certainly not, I've seen, I'm not dropping names, but, I think we've all seen the videos where somebody got their feelings hurt and they made a retraction video, and that retraction video then got taken down. I think you know who we're talking about. And so you just kind of, got to have a thick skin. So, no, you will not be able to please everyone. Chris, I know you had fun at Shasta, but and I would have too, I think, because you caught so many fish and there's really great people up there. But I think that you even mentioned this, and I've heard this before, is that particular event is run so smoothly, and there's not a lot of BS that goes on. And that's what makes things fun, is when there's no BS, there's no bickering. I think on the national level, the local levels, with clubs in Michigan, I've talked to a guy who had a club in Michigan who sent me a diatribe of an email, and I do appreciate it, just talking about how his club is run, his kayak club is run. And, he's like, there's no bullshit in my club. There's no tolerating it. Everybody pays a yearly fee. Everybody is required to do this. You're required to go to meetings because it's his local club. And that to me is a club. Like when you meet once a month, if you can get there, you can get there. But, that's just, how other organizations do things. So anyway, what else am I going to talk about on this? I'm not going to keep this one super long. I know a lot of people go for an hour when it comes to live streams. I just kind of wanted to air that out. If I didn't help any of the grievances, or if nobody really has a grievance, FLW can smooth things out. It's as smooth as silk. Robert, God bless you, man. Yeah, sure. So anyway, I'm looking at, I took notes, like I said. So I'm not fishing on Saturday. If I haven't made this clear, I can fish every other weekend because I'm a single father. And when I have my daughter, it's my daughter time. And basically, Bill, what's up, man? I have my daughter, so every other weekend I get to fish, and until it stays lighter out past, like the 9 p.m. time, I'll basically be sticking to the weekends. I wanted to go today. There's a guy on here right now that he asked me if I could go, and I get requests for meetings at like 3:30 and 4 o'clock, and then I just wouldn't get to the Delta or anything until a later period of time. So Chris, I'm going to take her out with her. I think my intention is to head down to Headwaters one day and get a tandem kayak. But I really want to have a discussion with Dan. I'm going to lean on Dan's expertise with that stuff because just, when's a good time and everything like that. David Larson, yes, I was just talking about you. So we'll get out soon, man. I promise. I really do want to go fish with you again. What else? So I'm going to just kind of get off the subject if nobody has any questions or comments. So let's talk about the month of April. All right. So, I'm going to do something in the month of April that I think, okay, hold on. We'll stop before I talk about April. So Alistair Chris has said, let's talk about the Yeti bucket. So, okay, I'll talk about the Yeti bucket, and we'll have a live vote right now on whether or not I should get the Yeti bucket. All right. So I have $80. I have $86 in REI, rewards, right? So I was talking to Chris and Lucas, and I was just like, look, man, I think I'm going to get the Yeti bucket. And I'm going to get all the inserts that go with the Yeti bucket. So it can basically, you can get like an outside tool belt for it, a lid, like a little like an insert for it, a container. And so I was seriously thinking about doing it. So Bradley, this is what Chris and Lucas were saying, that it was a joke. I did not get it. I did not get it. But the reason why I was looking at that is because I don't need anything for outdoor gear. But should I get the Yeti bucket? Would you like to see me do a review on the Yeti bucket? That's the more important thing. So I did not get it. I've not bought it yet, but I still haven't used my REI rewards. Probably going to do that after I get off this live stream tonight. And there's some things that in kind of segue into the month of April. So the month of April, I'm going to do something that slow fish. Okay, yeah. So all right, valid point. Like, I'm complaining about a tournament fee, and I'm complaining about how much it costs, but I'm gonna go spend $80 on a bucket. I get it. Mumu, I'll get it. Mumu, if I get it, I'll do a live stream with the bucket, and so we can do live interactions and everybody can mess with me. Yeah, okay, so the Yeti bucket's a joke, but so I'm going to segue into what's going on with April. One of the reasons why I'm looking at weird stuff like that is that in the month of April, I am going to do 30 videos in 30 days. And obviously those are not going to be all fishing related. And I'm kind of warning anybody who's watching this live stream, live or even a replay of it later. I'm not expecting people to watch all 30. I'm just kind of doing it, just kind of do a challenge to myself. And there's a couple of things that I want to test out on this channel, and I don't want to do it over a long period of time. I want to do it over a relatively short period of time. And if they work, great, I'll continue doing them. If not, then I won't do it ever again. This channel has evolved into a fishing channel, and I'm fine with that, but that's not my intentions of this channel when I first started it. My hip is feeling 87%. And if some of you want to ask what's going on with my hip, I have been to the doctor for it numerous times. One thing I will say is that when I was 14, I had my first diagnosis of Lyme's disease, and it was a pretty severe one. I was in the hospital. And I was diagnosed with arthritic Lyme, which basically means that I would have rheumatoid arthritis when I was older. I'm 43 now. The hip has a lot to do with the arthritis. I did put on a decent amount of weight in the last 8 months. I've dropped about 30 pounds since January. So I'm trying to get back in shape. I know the extra weight didn't help the hip. So basically, you know, I want this channel to encompass a little bit more. It's still going to be focused on fishing, but April is going to be a test of a lot of different things. Some of my camping stuff from a long time ago still gets excellent, you know, comments and views on it. So I like that stuff. But Bradley, not everything's going to be fun in April. And what I'm going to tie in, I'll announce this now, into the month of April, is that there are going to be probably, I'd say, 3 live streams, and the live streams are going to be coming from the ASPCA. So I recently started volunteering at the ASPCA out here. And I'm doing that because my dog died the day after Thanksgiving last year. And I had him for 11 years, and he meant the world to me. But one of the things that I'm kind of enjoying right now, and anybody who's fished with me will attest to this, is that I'm kind of enjoying the freedom of not having to run home or leave a fishing session or not be able to go out to dinner or go do things or go hiking or whatever. I'm loving the freedom not having a dog at home. Though I miss him dearly, like I just said, that's basically, you know, there's a lot of freedom and I'm really enjoying it. So I started volunteering at the ASPCA. Now the ASPCA in Sacramento is really super nice. There's a pretty extensive training program, but the reason why I'm bringing this up is part of the month of April, I'm going to do probably 3 live streams. And what I hope from those live streams is people would donate money on the live stream by doing like a super chat or whatever it may be. And I'd be able to donate that money to the ASPCA. And I would make it completely and totally legit. I would make sure that everybody knew. I post a video about how much I made. You know, no, Bradley, I'm not married anymore. But I would like for that to happen. And I know that live streams typically don't get a ton of money, but maybe if I could get some sort of hype around it and maybe I don't know, just get 30, 40 bucks per session. I think you guys could probably round up another 30 guys to watch the live stream and just donate a super chat. It's something I want to do. I'm a huge fan of animals. I hate cats though, and I hate bunny rabbits. So this is mainly for the dogs, but I'm at the ASPCA kind of curbing my dog appetite, and it's working so far. But you know, I think this platform on YouTube, even though I don't have a big user base, I think this is a good place to do that stuff, is to kind of raise money for good things. And you know, one day if I'm at, you know, a larger level, I plan on doing more of that stuff. So anything, but one cast, one fish. You missed everything, man. I gave away like the feel free lure. I gave it away to somebody who's no longer in the the chat. Slowfish California, man. Go Dogs. I'm a huge bulldog because I'm from Georgia and I have a lot of connections to the school. Yeah, cool. See, like, I'm glad seeing like Dave Larson basically saying, hey, you know, like that'd be a cool thing to do. Chris said that too as well. So anyway, but I would do it in a format so that people wouldn't think that I'm, you know, kind of doing something shady. So I don't know. And then kind of, let's see, what else? Oh, so going back to the month of April, there's going to be a lot of stuff. There's going to be gear reviews. There's going to be fishing. There's going to be a ton of fishing stuff. Something pretty major happened with my 2019 arsenal the other day. We're talking Slowfish California is talking about the Huskies. What's his name? I watched Jake. I used to live right across the street from Folsom High School, Slowfish. And I basically saw that kid play in high school at Folsom High School. Jacob, whatever his name is. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Stop looking at the chat. Oh, shit. No, I totally forgot my train of thought. Oh, I said I had something very big happened in my fishing arsenal last week. I'm not going to say what it is, but I'm not all my rods and reels aren't 13 anymore. So it's a big deal. I strayed from the pack, so to speak. So let's see. What else can I talk about? Hat. Got the t-shirt on. I got the t-shirt today. It's a test t-shirt. I'm not a big fan of the material. But I do have some stuff getting made. And the way that I'm doing it is kind of different than most YouTube channels do it, or most kind of any kind of organization does it. I'm not going to take a cut of any of this stuff. So I went with a company called Squad Locker. And Squad Locker essentially is for teams and organizations to basically have one kind of central unit where parents can buy their kids uniforms and it's all laid out for them and everything like that. And I have a store, and I'll put a link down to it below. But if you go to Squad Locker and you type in Find Team Store and type in Yankee Tanker, not Yankee Tanker Outdoors, you'll see all the things that you can buy my logos on. The new logo is only on shirts. It won't be on hats because the printing doesn't come out good. But the reason why I went with Squad Locker is because it's inventory on demand, and also to the gear that it's attached to is quality gear. It's not like cheapo stuff. So there's some stuff that's got Under Armour stuff that's got my logo on it. It does take 2 weeks to get to you, but like I don't receive a cut of any of that stuff because my intention is not to do a t-shirt company or a hat company ever. There'll come a time, maybe in the month of April, where I'll do a fundraiser on that site. Because you can do fundraisers for the ASPCA, so I'll do that in conjunction with the live stream. But I encourage you to check out that store if you're interested in buying a hat or a t-shirt or whatever. But also, too, if you're with an organization that needs stuff done, I highly recommend these guys. There was a conversation that I had with them last week where we were talking about doing a partnership together. I'm not going to wait for it. I was going to kind of have them scratch my back if I scratch theirs, but I don't think it's worth it at the end of the day. Which kind of leads me to the end of this live stream. Yeah, Chaucer, the shirt is really, really nice. It's one of the Glidden 50/50 shirts. What ended up happening was when I got it today, I immediately threw in the washer and dryer. That's kind of my test. This is my test for how a shirt's going to hold up. Sometimes when you buy a shirt and you wash it and you dry it, sometimes they shrink this way. But sometimes they shrink like the long way. And if a shirt shrinks the long way, because I'm 6'4", if the shirt shrinks long way, I don't like it. And it kind of goes up too high. I like my t-shirts long. So I had to order another one of a different brand. And so I'm going to kind of wait. Once I do that and a shirt passes the test, I'll kind of narrow down everything on the Squad Locker page and just kind of keep things very, very simple. The hats, though, the hats are solid. They're Pacifics. If you're not familiar with Pacific headwear, it's a solid headwear line, and there's no logos on it to mess it up. Bradley, the merch company is called Squad Locker. Like, yo, squad up. What up? Yeah. Right, Chaucer. Let's see. Let's go back in the chat. Where are we going? Anybody? Bueller? Is this live stream over? Questions, comments, concerns? I'm not going to keep this going. It's 3 minutes, almost being 30 minutes. Look, I appreciate everybody who stopped by to watch this thing. Centerfolds. What about centerfolds? Strip club centerfolds? What are we talking about here? I think everybody dies. Huh? Everybody dies. You go to centerfolds right now? You and Chris? I got plenty of single dollar bills, man. Yeah, Chris, I'm always confused. Oh, okay, David, that's a good suggestion. Don't they have like monthly like highlighted porn star dancers? Bradley, I'm not going to get another dog for probably not until next year. My daughter, I have a 4-year-old daughter. She is constantly asking when we're going to get another dog. It's not going to happen. Oh, man. It's Thursday night. I got an early phone call tomorrow. All right, look, guys, I'm going to end this. If anybody who did watch this thing, I'm not getting her a mouse. Anybody who watched this thing, if you didn't kind of get out any kind of grievances you had, this is your chance. I expect you to stop talking shit. I cursed. Anyway. Later, suckers.